until a month ago when the word came to me, what do you have in your hand? And I'm going to go through this for you. This is for anyone who is into relationship coaching and want to work with those are in a dating relationship, committed relationship, or married. This probably is the best thing that I'll come across. Now, there are a lot more out there, but this is the most diversified. I would say on your own, if you're interested, just do a Google search on Prepare and Enrich, and you'll find out more about it. It's not just about building strong marriages, but they do work with a lot of couples. And they are the world's leading pre-marriage and marriage relationship skill building program. Second to none. They've been around for 40 years. And they get better and better. Since I've been in there, they've made a lot of changes for the better. And that's what I like about them. And they're for people who are dating, engaged, and married. Dating, engaged, and married. When I say dating, I'm talking about they're in a committed relationship and building a healthy relationship. They've been around since 1980. So I learned about them about 5 years ago. And we took probably over 40 couples through this in the church, as well as I took about another 8 to 10 outside of the church. Did you go through it? Aisha, you didn't go. You did?
No, we did this. We had us go into the small.
But we had a small. That was a group program. That was a group program I had to do. But I've done several couples before that. What they bring to the table? 1 hour. 8:15. 8:15. What they have are so many tools that is effective coaching area as well as mentoring for that. And I like the tools that they have. And I'm going to demonstrate one of the tools that I use a lot with them for that. So they have a lot of tools. First tool is that to go online, you take an assessment. And what happens, they can pay you, and you set the price for them to take the assessment, something like $35 or $50 a couple. We used to charge in the church $50 a couple, and that all went to the church. If you're coaching, it could be in your coaching package, and you send them the code. Everything is done by email. They cannot go in and do it themselves. They have to have a facilitator, a trainer, walking through this. They cannot just go in for that. And that's the very simple thing. And you get all their results. And they get a report, and you get a report. And the report was just a part of the report. Those are the 9 areas. Communication. They don't call it any area a weak area. It's either growth area or strength area. And you see the percentile there, and you can see the different growth areas, and you see the strength areas. Normally, as a coach, you'll work with them on their growth areas if they choose the area they want to work in, but most people wanted to work on their growth areas. And they walk you through how to coach them, how to work with them in the growth areas to strengthen the relationship, or to see if they're ready to take the relationship to another level. So you have communication, confidence, and they're very, very personal. This is not a one-size-fits-all. They have something based upon your age, based upon your religion, what you believe, based upon if you have children, blended families. They even have a separate one for those who are just doing a parenting one, and not a couple of one for that. But those are the different activities for you. Those are the different assessments. That's just one area. Then they have another one called the scope. This is their personality profile. Social means how social is the person. On mine, I might be real high. Joyce might be average. I gotta see what I was when I would take that to begin with. Okay, change is how flexible they are to change. You know, are they flexible in change, or are they low in change, resistant to change? Organized is just how organized their life is, and it goes much more in deep. Pleasing is how much they want to serve others. And emotional steady have to deal with, are they emotionally ready for a relationship in that area, or are they burnt out? But it gives you, it trains you on how to work with couples in this personality scale. Every couple gets a workbook. Now, if you do a complimentary session, they don't need a workbook. You can send everything out through PDFs. So it's not costing you anything, but that's part of your toolkit and you send out lesson by lesson. Don't send the whole book. Just in each lesson you give them, they get the book. In the book, they have a biblical reference book. They have biblical references for everything you do, or you can get one without the biblical reference. I always chose biblical references. They were good too. They were really good. The workbook for couples. What they have new now for coaches, alongside each exercise, each assessment, each strength or growth areas, they have given you discussion questions you can ask them to work with them on. And it's really, this book is about 100 pages, but it's very detailed on how they respond. And we're going to do exercise in a minute of something else. That's what we're ready to do now. This one right here, this is an extra tool. This is a tool for all the 20 to 30 topics they have that you work with a couple on. You ask them questions or a survey. So I'm going to give you the survey. I want you to, take the survey. And I want you to see which questions you mark true or false on. And if you say, I don't have them, pretend like you have one. If you had one before and it didn't work, you probably mark all true. I don't know. My amen tape. Take a few minutes.
And just write true or false.
Write true or false. Look at each statement and write true or false. Single people are pretending, or you're looking at a previous relationship. We got it in the positive. Get you out of it. Okay. True or false? Okay. When I did this, I was sending this out to the individuals by email. Okay, and I asked them to send me the email back with true or false. And if I'm working with a couple, they will both send me the email because the questions will go to both of them. And you're working on something. Now, again, you're doing this over the phone. So anyone had true on number one? Okay. No, it's not a bad answer. Okay. It says, I wish my partner were more willing to share his or her feelings with me. These are the questions I would ask. This is came strictly from Preparing to Rich. When do you find it difficult to share your feelings with your partner? That's a question. When do you find it difficult to share your feelings with your partner? Sometimes it can be when they get home. Sometimes it can be when the partner asks them to share. It's a variety of answers, but what you're going to do is get the person to think about when the times are. Is there a common time that they are anxious about sharing their feelings? You know, and so this can go to either the person who put you on this or their partner. Why is sharing feelings valuable for relationships? All these are just different questions you would ask. Why is sharing feelings? Number three, when your partner talks about his or her feelings, how do you respond? Because if let's say Joyce said, I wish everyone was more willing to share his or her feelings, do I respond in a certain way? When she's sharing feelings, I might raise my voice. Or I might say it in an abrupt way. Then that might lock her down. And this is going on through a coaching session. I'm coaching, and this is all part of this. This is outside of the training you're giving them. These are just questions. And it's what are you feeling right now? I feel like I'm in trouble for asking this question true. You know, something like that. We don't know. But you never. But all of these were questions that through Preparing to Rich, I was able to ask people. Now, I really only dealt with two basic ones. Communication, conflict resolution. They have over 20 where you ask people that. Number two, who had one on number two? Who had a true? Anybody have true number 2? Okay, number 2 said, sometimes I have trouble believing everything my partner tells me. Questions. Can you share with your partner when is that you have difficulty believing all that he or she tells you? Can you share time for that? And you're trying to get people to talk, to really discuss it. Because a lot of times, if you're not talking, the devil is talking to one another. And so you're trying to get them to talk, and you're knowing, not just your coach, you're a mediator doing that. Because they're not expressing their thoughts, so the enemy will attack their mind at all times. What do you need to do that will enable your partner to have confidence in what you say? What do you need to do that will enable your partner to have confidence in what you say? You know, in that area. And that's the whole idea, is that a lot of times somebody will say something we learned this in the class yesterday. You know, every thought we get, you know, our heart is deceitful. And the thoughts we get are very deceitful and stuff like that. So we got to learn how to judge those. But sometimes a person says, I'll promise to do this. I find this a lot in abusive cases. I'm going to promise to do this, and they don't keep their word. They start off good, and they go into that cycle. In that, you know, for that. Another question, do you feel your partner's not telling the truth, or is it exaggerating the truth? Yeah.
For your previous question, I'm curious about something from a relationship standpoint. Is it a bad thing for partners or for relationships to have access to each other's cell phones? You know, like to be able to go through their stuff. You don't want to have to get to that point, but is that a bad thing for people to get to that point?
I'm married. My wife can have my cell phone at any time.
Right. So you shouldn't even have to question that.
I never question her about it. We have access to anything I have is hers. That's the whole, the two should become one. There's nothing that I have, there's no secrets I have from her. And she has access to it. Computer, my email address, my emails, anywhere, invite her. She's telling you the rest of the story. You know, but I tell couples, one of the God's laws that the two should become one. And that means there should be no secret. They say they were both naked, nothing left that you shouldn't be able to see, and not ashamed for that. And that's just what we share with people. And I tell people, when it ever gets to the point where you argue over that, you just violated one of God's laws. No matter how much you pray, when you violate a law, you're falling down. You know, in that area. He's very simple. He has just 3 laws. Law leaving, cleaving, and oneness. Anytime you violate one of those 3 laws, your marriage starts falling. You know, in that area. Okay, what about number 3? Is it difficult to express my true feelings to my partner? Nobody had that one? Okay, anyone said true? Okay. Number 4, when we're having a problem, my partner often refuses to talk about it. Man, that was a common one here. You know, the problem, it came to me, he just won't say anything. You know, she won't say anything, you know, until it's too late. Number 5 was, my partner is not a very good listener. Okay, that was one. That was what is that your partner does that make you feel he or she is not listening? Yes.
Most of the time, I think it's trying to figure out what the answer is going to be before hearing. So sometimes I think he's preparing an answer instead of just listening.
Yeah. Let me go over and rub her shoulders. I know she's nodding her head a whole lot. Because of the fact, that's one of my problems for a long time. I'm a problem solver. And when Joyce started talking, she said, honey, just listen. I'm not looking for an answer. That's after 44 years. And so I try not to say anything. And it's hard. But I'm learning. So those of you who have only been married that long, you got hope. Okay? But she's patient with me in that area. And I think I'm listening to her. Oh, honey, thank you.
Give him that look. Like,
she'll stop talking.
I'll just.
Yeah, that's exactly what she does. And I'm looking up to what I'm going to do now. So I said, honey, can we rewind? Start this conversation over again. It is difficult for, number 6, it is difficult for me to share negative feelings with my partner. Anyone had that? What Prepare and Rich has, they have something like this for over 20 topics for discussion. We had a question. I'm gonna just give you this one because this goes with your form that you fill out. You can have it and just keep one for yourself in case you're talking to somebody else. And we'll go with that for that. So that's.
We have 2 more over here.
2 more? Here you go, Nick. Okay, so that's one of the tools in addition to all the other tools they have. Now what you were talking about, Aisha, was the group program.
Okay.
The group program is where you train people and you have a group. And if you're coaching, it's ideal. I'm going to show you what I look to do in the future. When you're coaching, you coach 2 sessions, then you have one big group once a month. And again, you're talking about over the telephone, not personal. And so that means you can do it anywhere across the country. Because this whole program is done online. You can do it in person, as we did in the class. And in churches, I would definitely recommend it to be done in church. Excellent group program. They give you the PowerPoint. You can adapt it to what your strengths are, but the PowerPoint is already laid out for you with the discussion questions, the icebreaker, everything broken down. And the whole idea is to encourage discussion, and they have some good icebreaking questions. Build community and teach skills. You always give people assignment at the end of each session, whether you're doing them, and they give you assignments to give people. We never ran out of stuff to share with people doing Prepare and Enrich in the group program.
I would like to just add that Prepare and Enrich, to me, is an ideal package program for people who are new at coaching, because it's almost like they give you a cheat sheet for everything. They have all the assessments, the backup stuff, like if you're working on question number 1, they got everything that goes with question number 1. See what I'm saying? So it's really, really ideal, and it's been tested and it's used everywhere. And if if someone says, I've gone through Prepare and Enrich, you kind of know that they have this background, that they've had this training, and it's just really, really good. It's really good.
Now we train people in the church to be marriage mentors, to where they prepare and enrich and restore marriage. We had couples who were married, couples who were engaged, and couples who were committed in a committed relationship. And we probably had about 40 couples involved and about 6 groups. And each one had been trained as a marriage mentor, going through the training of Prepare and Enrich. That's a little less than a facilitator, but it was still the training was available. Once you complete Prepare and Enrich, because it's global and international, you can become a part of the Strong Couples Club, to where once you complete it, there's people all over the country you can go to meetings elsewhere or trainings elsewhere when you're a part of that. And that's one of the, we didn't tap into that because it wasn't available 5 years ago. This is something new that just started within the last 3 years for that. For those who say, I'm more interested in becoming certified, certification runs about $200. I think it was Aisha I was talking to. Next year, it might have been Teresa. I will probably have certification as part of the class, but it'll be on a Saturday, but it still will be a low cost. It might be $100 as opposed to $200. Those who want that certification. The thing about it is certification, once you become certified, that means you can train others to become certified as well as lead groups. But also you get on their list, so they'll refer people to you. They referred people to me to be certified, and I just didn't have the time to do it. And there's nobody right now certified in Kalamazoo, Southwest Michigan. Grand Rapids to Detroit most of your certification.
Oh,
But not in, again, most of your work is online, but they will have people who will travel, or as a certified instructor, trainer, I can travel anywhere to put on a training. And the training is outlined. You don't have to know anything. You can push, they got videos for each session for you to do, and you just comment on it. My first time I did the training, I just had the videos. I just said, push the video. Now they don't give you the videos. It's all online. They just have a
it's like a business in a box.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
a business in a box, really. Everything's there.
So that was certification. Now, this is a premarital counseling package, but if I was doing a premarital coaching package, I would probably do something very simple. And they have the essential, the classic, and the premium, and then they market Prepare and Enrich, the #1 premarital assessment. And this is your cost. You get to choose either one of the three. And again, this could be in person or it can be over the phone. If you market global, it can go global. You know, because you have the tools and give them and you share with them. Okay. This is, if I was to do this with couples, this would be what I call my marriage transformation package. And this is only one time. I'm just marketing as if I was marketing the most powerful training for married couples and those in a committed relationship. 30 sessions over 10 months. Because I think transformation takes place over time.
Yes.
Okay. 2 personal sessions each month per couple. And that's just talking to them over the phone for about 40 minutes. Going through an exercise here. You know, one exercise will be tied into the Prepare and Enrich. The other exercise will be tied into what they want. You know, now hopefully out of Prepare and Enrich, they have picked some things, but we can tie into that. Every session should always have an assignment. If you don't give them an assignment, you're missing out on something. I gave one person a couple of weeks rest, and I was meeting with for a little while. I've given that, they haven't done it. I don't meet with them until they do it for that assignment.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you ever, I know like in marriage counseling, you know, sometimes they will meet individually. So do you ever do the coaching, although they're married, but will meet with them individually?
Each session, I will look at that. Now, in the coaching, that might be an added one, might be an added cost. I just have to say I would do that. I might even take it as a side benefit at one time. When we talk to couples now, we always spend time with them individually, at least one session.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because see, they're gonna.
They may not say something.
Exactly.
When they're together.
And we meet with them individually for the purpose of allowing them to say something to us,
Right.
so we can come back. Like I tell men, I would never publicly embarrass you in front of your wife. So we need to sit down and talk, and then the women have to.
Take you to the woodshed.
Yeah, I will take you to the woodshed. But I can tell him something that the wife has told Joyce or told me about some things that he needs to do to shape up, and vice versa with the women.
Okay.
For that, but we often do couples at least separate one time.
Got it.
Okay.
To piggyback off of that, in your 30 sessions, is it like group sessions with other?
Get ready to get to it.
Okay.
2 personal sessions, so that's 2 times.
Well, the reason I was asking is in the group sessions, do you ever split up like the men go talk, like say you hang out with the men and she hang out with the women?
Did we do that, Aisha? I don't think we did that, did we? In the group session. I haven't done that in the group session.
No, you broke us up. It's almost like age.
Because I have some seasoned saints who lead couples that. We haven't done that in the group session. Now you got to realize, so we're still thinking personal.
Right.
I'm thinking global over the phone. So I doubt if I would break it up like that. Now I have done this session, Prepare and Enrich, over the phone, just talking to the man. I've not talked to the wife or the woman in the relationship. Joyce would do that. But it's just so easy. Oh, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's so much easier over the phone than in person.
I think if you did a group session where you divided the men versus the women, I think just like a focus group, you'll get that one outlier that actually influences the group. So I think it's best not to do that, but to break it up by gender, just to kind of keep the bias
Yeah,
out of it.
it was the couples, and they were just, it was like a newer couple, and I think we might have had an engaged couple in our group, and I don't know how you marketed that because a lot of those people were not CLC
No,
members.
they
So how you marketed that, and it was so many people. It was like I couldn't even believe that we didn't do it again. But it was the couple. Yeah. Yes.
and we had a lot. We had a lot from different churches.
Yeah.
Or no, just in the community. I don't know what church they went to, because they just came in.
They were just.
But to your question, we did not separate the men from the women in those. If I did this, I would do it, maybe start off in the church, maybe. But if I did it as a coaching thing, I wouldn't look to separate it. Only because when you're on the Zoom or something, they're all there, you know, for that.
How do you, because I'm hearing all of the different marriage, coaching groups you can be a part of, how do you differentiate yourself in the marketplace? So I'm sitting here and I'm listening to Aisha speaking to, I don't know if there's just a lot of advertising, but obviously there's a need. You have all of these people. And there's a lot of other people in the market that's flooding the market, whether it's on Facebook at other churches. We offer a marriage, you know, like a marriage coach. What would be the point of difference that will set you apart from the pack? You don't have to answer that. It's more of a rhetorical question, but as you get into it, what's your point of difference?
Yeah.
Which we can talk about next.
Yep. Okay.
I was gonna say, I had an idea for that. Generally, you find a niche that would set you apart. Like, so for example, if I were to do it, I would concentrate on blended family.
Okay.
You concentrate on what?
I would concentrate on blended family.
Yep, that's good.
I think with Joyce and I, we've been around so long that in the community, people know of us. We've done, again, it's still billions, doing seminars out of different places, you know, but we've been around so long that, you know, people, when I went over to New Genesis, people asked me, when you going to do something for married couples? And I was over at New Genesis, and I said, I'm not doing anything. That season is behind me right then. Because I've done something for married couples. When we did Marriage Ministry International, we had all of our groups outside of the church. And we had more than 50% of people were not even part of the church. And we had at least 6 groups outside the church going up at all times, you know. So one couple group each session, $100 a session per couple. Now remember, if you look at the premarital session, it was $150 per couple. This is a discounted rate because they're going longer term. We're not doing 8 sessions, we're doing 30 sessions. $300 a session per month for 10 months for each couple. $500 discount if you pay it in full before the first session.
That's but you have to be married to, I'm assuming, I don't want to make the assumption, but I'm sure we probably have, you know, 2/3 single folks in here and a third married. Do you have to be married to provide that coaching?
You said committed relationships.
Yeah.
As a coach, in the spirit of like adding credibility is what I'm thinking.
You got a good point there. Maybe the credibility part, but if you have a lot of wisdom going forth and you have a lot of a good blog going on, people don't want to hear it. I have to look at their list because I know in their list of coaches, they got over thousands. And they got, and I know they're not all married. I know a lot of the pastors, especially the women pastors, are not married. And they provide the coaching. Yep. And that's why when you go in there, must register for the entire package for this training as a specialist. If I was to do something, I would do something like this. I'm not hungry to try to get someone, but I'll get 5 couples. And that's my minimum. I don't do anything under 5 when I do group. You know, for that. I'll transform your life, transform your marriage. And that's the thing about it. Everything is like Joyce said, it's a business in a box. You know, for that. Okay. Now, that took about 20 minutes, 30 minutes almost. Okay. Last 30 minutes, we want to give for the 5 love languages. Okay, and you're going to take your assessment. 5 love languages. This is probably my favorite tool. How many have not taken the 5 love languages before? You've not taken it. Oh, man. And with fresh meat, okay? It was funny. Now, what you don't know, let me make sure I have it here. The ladies I talked to, my mentor ladies, I talked to them yesterday, and they found out it used to be for couples, but now they have singles. And that's exactly what it went down to me. Yeah, they got singles. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you one of each. And I'm going to also send this electronically because the singles one just came out within the last year. Not only do they have it for singles, they have it for children. I love language. Thank you, David. Malcolm says, I love you, brother. Pass us maybe married ones. Yeah, make sure everybody get one of these. Okay. They have one for you know the love language of your parent, not your parents, but of your children. Know the love languages of your teenagers. The love languages can change. So you are to take the 5 love languages. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to take it.
Anyone we pick?
Single or married, take the love. You take the one you want to take. Keep the one that you're going to get it electronically to go with you. You should have one single, one married. They're both very similar.
Can I have one of the single? Yeah. Not to take it.
You get one for each. You should have a single and a married. Okay. Who needs one for the single? I think you did. I'm saying you do it electronically. That's much more colorful and everything. Anyone need a single one? What's that? Hey, electronic. She had that big person there. Oh, don't take it yet. Let's start. Let's go through some things. Don't take it. Let's go through something real quick. Gary Chapman. This is based upon the book. The book is good, but the video is crazy. You want to laugh. He's really funny about the situations he had, how this book was created. We used to have the video, and I made the bad mistake of letting the engaged couple have it and it disappeared. You know, we must be willing to learn our spouse's primary love language if we are to be effective communicators of love. Everyone has an emotional love tank. 1 Peter 3:7 says, men dwell with your wife according to understanding. Your tank needs to be filled emotionally. You must learn how to fill your partner's tank. That's the hard part. The filling takes place by meeting your partner's emotional needs. These needs are revealed through their primary love language. You need to learn how to speak their love language when we started the couple. Most couples, even Joyce and I, when we first took this, I thought I was loving her because my love language was words of affirmation. Her love language is acts of service. You know, so I realized I was pouring all these words to her, and she liked the words, but it didn't fill her tank up. And so now I don't fill her tank up real good. And you are trying to communicate that you love your partner, but you're not connected. That's what I share with couples. You try, but your partner often feels it is not enough. You've even told your partner that you love him or her, but they still feel empty and unloved on the inside. What they say, I don't feel love for the person I once felt when we first met them. And most of the time, it's because they're not speaking the same language, the love language. They don't know each other's love language. Now, here he says all of us need all 5 forms of love. You need all of them, but there's one, perhaps 2. Now, if you have 2 primary love languages, you're bilingual. So you're good. Your partner needs to know that. That is our primary love language and crucial to our feeling. If our partner doesn't speak our primary love language, we may feel as if something missing. Most people don't know why. And we may feel unloved even if they are speaking to us in their own primary love language, in their primary love language, not in their partner's primary love language. That's where they get in trouble. Our partner may love us totally and completely, but we may not experience what they say or do as being loved towards us because they're not speaking our love language. or we have not expressed our love language. We don't even know our love language. The same is true for them. We can show great love for our partner, but if we are not using their primary love language, then they may feel abandoned and unloved. We need to learn to develop all 5 love languages. That's why I try to tell couples. Don't just you focus on the 1 or 2 your spouse have or your children have, but you learn how to use all 5. Now, Joyce may not be, I think, Aisha, you talking about your gift, like giving gifts. Joyce might not be her love language, but that doesn't mean I don't never give her a gift, okay? Yes. Pardon?
Like, how long did you have on
About 30, 40 minutes. Okay. You know the 5 love words of quality, giving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Now take your assessment.
Okay.
Some of you already started, finished. We're gonna see in the room how many who have what love language. The love language. Yeah, come on, let's see what you're about. Yeah, that might be it. Should be on the back. In the back, it's on both sides. Pardon? Just do one. No, just do one. No, do both sides. Just do one. Just do the single double man. Oh, okay. And then your scoring sheet is on the second side. You have about 2 minutes. Hopefully, you'll be close to finish. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Like that big brand when she started coming in.
When I see her, yeah, see that, you know, who said it was in the same spot?
Yeah.
It never changed.
What didn't look good? You can please. But what make sure your favorite piece is number one.
Okay, so is that what the three that are the same?
Well, you got the three the same. Well, yours, yeah, four of the same, weren't you?
No. No. I have three. My lowest is
These three, they're all the same. Whoever, this is the big one. I don't think I'm very important.
Yeah. They are. I was here.
It's different, but you're not weird.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, how many of you, words of affirmation was your number one? Was your love language? Anybody here? Word- 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Words of affirmation 6. That's the primary one. If you have two of that, if you have one like a 9 and an 8, you're bilingual. Yeah. Okay, what about quality time? Quality time. 1, 2, 3. Quality time. 4. Okay, you like for people to eat uninterrupted time. We're gonna go into some of the quality. I have packets that gives you 10 of the top acts of love you can show in each one of these areas. The top 10. What about receiving gifts? Who's receiving gifts? One. That was the second one. You should have both hands up, right? Okay. Receiving gifts. Okay. You buy your own stuff. Okay. What about acts of service?
There it is. There it is.
Show me. That's all I gotta say.
Actions speak louder than words.
No words. I'm so tired of words. Show me. I wanna-
And you gotta realize when Joyce
Show
was,
me. I'm tired of that.
Joyce was acts of service, I'm not a handyman at all. I found many of us to come out and help us out. So they would get done. Joyce would be proud of me if I changed the light bulb. I'm taking care of the little things. Okay, physical touch. That's non-sexual touch.
That's my second.
Yeah. Yours is 0 for physical touch. You don't want any back massage. Foot rubs.
But my quality time was close.
Quality time, that's the highest you can get. You really want time together, uninterrupted. Not looking at TV, but time together. Let's look what they say here. Words of affirmation. How to communicate. You encourage, affirm, appreciate, emphasize, listen actively. Actions to take. Send an unexpected note, text, or card. Encourage, genuine, and all. We had one couple, and hers was words of affirmation, and they had a code. This is a long time ago with pagers, and his code was 143. And when she ever read that code, she know from him that I love you.
Aww.
And he was sitting there several times a day, just message that to her, and the code was for her. She knew it was coming from him, and was I love you, because hers was words of affirmation. Things to avoid: non-constructive criticism, not recognizing or appreciating effort. You know, for that physical touch, nonverbal, use body language and touch and emphasize love. Hug, kiss, hold hands, show physical affection Regularly make intimacy a thoughtful priority. Physical neglect, long sentence. That's things to avoid. Receiving gifts. All this I have in a really long document. Thoughtfulness make your spouse a priority. Speak purposely. Give thoughtful gifts and justice. Small things matter in a big way. Do they? Okay. You know, forgetting special occasions, like a birthday. You do that.
See, I'm still alive.
Okay. Quality time, uninterrupted and focused conversations, one-on-one time is critical. Create special moments together, take walks, do small. I used to tell men and women, I said, come, let's go out and walk. Y'all walk in the neighborhood. You want to get him to talk for the dog. He starts something, you got to have him talk. And it doesn't cost you a dime to go out and talk. Uninterrupted. Builds communication out. You're walking together. And I would tell couples to do that because they would not talk or argue. Acts of service. Do chores together. Make them breakfast. Man, I be like, I'm in trouble, but I'm glad I got a lucky day. Okay. Help alleviate their daily workload. I do the big stuff. Bring someone in to do it. Okay. This is another chart. This is by a group called Marriage 365, and they did their own verbal compliments, brag to others, but I like what they did after conflict. If you ever had conflict, speak words that build security and initiate a sincere apology. You know, acts of service after conflict. If you have some, we call it intense fellowship, where you've been discussing some things. Make behavior change and request it through conflict. You know, quality time, make eye contact, active listening with empathy, don't interrupt. Who had quality time over here? Right here. Oh yeah, you had 12 on that, didn't you? Yeah. You have to tell. I'm gonna tell him, don't you ever feel like that. When I see him on Sunday.
Our biggest thing is he always wants to do family trips. I'm like, I need a trip with just me and you, no kids. See, and he's like, okay, I'm listening, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna tell him. We in the same group. I'm saying, brother, I got a word from God. All right, giving gifts. Give a small token of your love and apology note. That's a gift. Physical touch. Hold each other without saying a word. Cuddle together in the bed. Those are after conflict. And that's fair. Now, one thing I have yet to have a couple completed, but I've given them the challenge. And I'm not giving you the challenge. I'm going to share with you what it was. I call it 21 days to a transformed marriage. I've yet to have a couple do it. 3 directives. You must do this for 21 days. This is love in action. On a scale from 1 to 10, ask your partner, how full is your love tank?
They gotta ask that every day?
Right?
Are you sending that to us?
I can send this to you. If they, no, I'm just talking, this is why I used to give a couples. I said, if they are at a 9 or 10, if they are not at a 9 or 10, you have to ask this next. What is one thing, just one thing, that I can do to fill your love tank? And to tell you one thing, you say, well, I don't feel like it. You just failed. Then do it. Do it regardless of how you feel or what time it is. Once you ask them, whenever it is, they say one thing. I've yet to have anyone complete 21 days. They might get to 10. Oh man, I'm tired. Oh, I don't want to go any further. I had a bad day. That's why I said, then do it. Do it regardless of how you feel. Now, most of the time I'm giving this to couples who are trying to build a relationship, you know, but I'm going to still put it out there in the future. 21 days. Can you do it? I once said, well, I don't feel like doing it. That's not what love is. When you love someone, you're going to do it, whether you feel good or bad about it. You know? And so they start off excited, but the feeling wears off because they start getting distracted. But you got to ask. You determine the time you ask. When you ask, you should be prepared to do something. Okay. 5 love languages. Now it's for not just couples, for singles, for children, for teenagers, for parents. They have something for everyone.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
With your love language be different as a parent than maybe it would be as?
No, that one right there should have been, for parents to observe their teens.
Okay.
Okay? The teenagers is a big one, teenagers and tweeners. There's something called tweeners. I didn't put the tweeners down. It's tweeners, I think those like 10, 11, and 12 or something. Tween teens. It's really something. We used to say, off the clock, Nevaeh, is that what they used to tell you? When you got 13, you became off the clock, you became a teenager or something?
Let's teach your kids.
Okay, well, yes.
So when you do it for your children or your teenagers, do you do it based off of what you think, or do you ask them questions?
You either ask them questions, they fill it out.
Okay.
But you find out some children, when they're young, they might want quality time. Or they might want physical touch, and that might be just wrestling, you know, with them. Where others want gifts or acts of service. They want to see what you're doing, or words of affirmation. So your children have a primary love language also in that area. We won't get to it. What time? Let me see.
8:07.
8:07. We got 7 minutes. And 5 love languages coaching questions. What did you think about this assessment? What is your love language? What were your results? What is your reaction? How do you feel about it? Tell me more. What makes that important? Those are all different questions you can ask someone or ask couples. Normally, when I ask couples, I would ask them about the 5 love languages. And then I would say, what was your love language? And what does that mean? I would have the wife or the husband share with me what does that mean for that tank to be full. And then they would write it down, and I'll repeat it. You know, but this is a great coaching tool here. Question, yes, Roya?
If my acts of service is low and my spouse's acts of service is high, is there a conflict there? Because if service is not, that means his acts of service is high. So that means that for me, it's low. So does that affect my?
Yeah, I'm gonna let him talk about it.
Yeah, okay, so my wife's number one is gifts. She literally, every time we've taken this test for the last 6 years, she scores 12 on it. Mine is 0. I don't even think about gifts. It just crossed my mind. But when I do get her a gift, she knows how much I had to work to do it. So it means that much more. So it's not a conflict, but it actually can really help to strengthen that relationship. It's a really big deal. Even if I just get her a candy bar that I know she likes, and she's like, "Oh, you were thinking about me long enough to go and buy this candy bar." That's a big deal.
Okay, that's good.
We learned from Ed Cole that love is a desire to benefit the other at your expense. And that's what this is all about. It doesn't matter what your gift, your love language is. The key is what the person you're married to, their love language is.
I have to work extra.
Yeah, you just gotta work
I
extra.
have to work extra because it's low on my list and it's high.
It's all about you.
Yeah. No, it's not about me, but what I'm saying
Yeah,
is
you
I
gotta
have
work.
to be sensitive
But
because otherwise it'll be a blind spot for me.
That's what I'm saying, it's not about you.
Right, it's about them.
And then from his perspective, it should be all about you. Right, it's yours.
And try to get things done for them.
I had to train him. Yes, it's helping guys. There's all the plumbers, all the different people. So when he's in that mode.
I had many a brother keep me out of the dog house. We got a little dog house out there outside. Many a brother come in to save my day. Catherine.
I think it's not about, I think every time you meet someone, it's not about, there's not a cookie cutter approach to love, right? And so every time you meet someone or when you're in a relationship, even if you're married, you have to undo everything you thought you knew about love. Yeah. Because it's about loving that person the way they need to be loved, not how you want to love them, to get a relationship, a marriage that has staying power, right?
Yeah. We call it, Joyce and I call it the M&Ms. If you're married to the ministry or manipulation. And it's a very thin line between the two. I can tell you manipulation. I can give you a scenario. Joyce prepares dinner for me. She's preparing dinner for me, and she made this real nice dinner, just all set up. But I've had a bad day at office. And I come in and I'm not feeling good. And she said, honey, I prepared this dinner for you. Why don't you sit down and eat? And I said, Joyce, I'm not ready to eat. I'm just going to go upstairs. So Joyce gets mad because I didn't eat her dinner. And so she tries to control me and come and say, why every time I try to cook a special meal for you, you get upset, you don't eat, and you go upstairs. I'm through cooking for you if you're not going to be pleased. That's manipulation. And when she thought ministry, she would say, how can I serve you while you go upstairs? And a lot of marriages say they're operating in ministry, operating in manipulation. And you need to know that it's about the other person, ministering to them and serving them. And it's unique with different people. And that's why this 5 Love Language, whether they're single, married, children, it's a good tool. You know, I was going to try to do the 5 Money Personality, but that's another good tool, which is a new one. We're going to introduce that one during the money session. That was a good one, the 5 Money Personality. And that's the one I just learned. But those are some tools. And I think we got time for about an 8-minute break. We'll be back in here at 8:20. Okay? Any other questions before you break up?
No, that was good. Very good.
Finish the food on the table. I'm gonna pack up.